Good evening. Welcome to our new home here. We've already come out of closed session, so we've already convened and the meeting's already begun. I just want to welcome everyone here in the start of the new school year. I just want to make a comment. A lot of you have noticed that the annual rankings of high schools by New Jersey Monthly's come out. And I want to take the time to congratulate High School North for being ranked second and High School South for being ranked 9th in the state. At the same time, Niche.com did a ranking of school districts around the nation, and West Windsor-Plainsboro came in as 33rd in the United States and 3rd in the state of New Jersey. While I'm very pleased that all this happened, I just want to tell people, just don't take these rankings too seriously. Don't get hung up on year-to-year changes in the rank among the schools. These groupings, the groups that do these rankings set their own criteria, and they'll change from year to year. If I can use a sports analogy, if you had a group of people making lists of NFL quarterbacks, everybody's criteria would be different and every list would look different, except that you would probably see the same names near the top of every list. And to come back to the schools, whenever they do a ranking of schools and the quality of education they provide, West Windsor-Plainsboro always winds up near the top. And that's just a tribute to teachers, parents, and the students who do all the work. That's something we should all be proud of. David?
Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome everyone to the start of the 2016-2017 school year. I'd like to extend my thanks to our staff for their dedication and professionalism. This summer, as we worked together in writing over 50 new curriculums, attending professional development trainings, building master schedules, hiring our new colleagues, working together in committees to review the report cards, planning faculty meetings throughout the year. Anytime I have the opportunity to work with our staff, I'm reminded of the passion, purpose, and pride that they bring to school and our school community each day. Now, while we were busy working hard all summer, so was the Department of Education and the State Board of Education. And it's important to know that there's been some significant shifts that occurred on August 3rd at the State Department of Education meeting. Specifically, they made changes in two areas. One is to graduation requirements, and the other is to something called EdTPA. All right, so first with graduation requirements. For the class of 2017 through 2019, in other words, our current sophomores through seniors, one can graduate under the same way as students that graduated in 2016, either by achieving a passing score on the PARCC assessments or through alternative assessments such as the ACT, SAT, or AccuPlacer. There's also then a portfolio appeal process should a student not be successful with those other avenues. And for students that receive special education services, there's also the opportunity to graduate based on the requirements or based on the alternatives that are created in their IEP. However, starting with the freshmen, with the class of 2020, all students are required to take all end-of-year PARCC assessments. In other words, for our current freshmen, the idea of opting out has been eliminated by this Department of Education, by the State Board of Education. So for those who take the PARCC and do not pass, there will be, again, the portfolio process, but starting, there'll also be the alternate assessment. Beginning with our current 8th grade, though, they must pass and take Algebra 1 in ELA 10. They must also take all other aspects of PARCC. So that is Algebra 2, Geometry, ELA 9, and ELA 11. So the graduation requirements for our current 8th grade will be passing and taking Algebra as well as ELA 10. Now, there's a lot of questions regarding that, and there's a lot of questions that we've asked, and at this point, there is limited to no answers to scenarios. What happens for a student that transfers into a district? What happens for a student who passes the class but doesn't pass the PARCC assessment? And so on. But parents need to be aware that there are significant changes in graduation requirement with respect to Park, starting for the 9th graders and then moving down to 8th grade. And then once the class of 2021 are current 8th graders, as of right now, those will be the rules in place for all subsequent grades below. Now, another component of the State Board of Education meeting on August 3rd was the passing of EdTPA. Now, EdTPA is basically it's a Stanford-based assessment called the scale, and it's going to be a new way in which student teachers or teacher preparation programs are ranked for the purpose of granting licensure. Now, what a student teacher will be required to do is to pass a series of videotaping. Now, EdTPA is the instrument, it is the assessment, but in order to make this real, they needed to hire someone to actualize it. And as you might be thinking, who possibly is big enough to do such a thing? The State Board of Ed and the Department of Education has granted the contract to Pearson. So Pearson will now be actualizing EdTPA for teacher preparation programs. So you have to be careful when you read the PowerPoints on the DOE, because it actually doesn't really talk about Pearson. It talks about EdTPA and Stanford. But when you look at the EdTPA website and you look at who's the overseer of it, you'll see Pearson clearly marked on the website. And within the DOE minutes, it'll be granting the contract to Pearson. There was only 2 providers. It was Pearson or ETS, and Pearson won the contract. So I think just things that we need to be aware of. Changing topics, I'd like to echo Tony's comments and just simply congratulate our students, our staff, our parents, and our administration for the 2 recent publications. I do echo Tony's caution about rankings, but I do think we should stop and pause to recognize the hard work of our students and to recognize the recognition and the jump in achievement at both High School North and High School South on those particular rankings since 2014. Thank you.
Okay, that brings us to our high school representatives.
Thanks for having me back as South Student Representative again this year. As us Pirates settle back into our school schedules, a lot of homecoming and Spirit Week planning is going underway behind the scenes, with Spirit Week and the game and the dance falling at the end of September this year. And the theme is music, so us seniors, our class color is black, so our theme is rap and rock. And all of this week at South Student Council is selling Teal Out shirts for ovarian cancer research, proudly boasting Fight Like a Girl. The Teal Out game is this Friday night, and this Sunday morning will be the TLT 5K. Many student council members will be volunteering with the 5K and running the race in order to raise money for ovarian cancer research. In sports action, our girls tennis team is maintaining the reputation as a powerhouse by already achieving a 4-1 record and bringing in a strong freshman class to help the team's depth. The girls and boys cross-country team made their debut on Saturday at the Cherokee Challenge. Girls placed 6th out of 60 schools and 3rd for New Jersey schools, and the boys placed 4th overall and 2nd out of New Jersey schools. Also, a new interesting addition to our football team, we now have a mascot, a pirate that we are still trying to figure out a name for, but you'll see him at our new football games.
Thank you.
All right. First of all, my name is Dylan. I'd like to thank everyone for giving me the opportunity to talk tonight. This is my first year as the representative for North, so thank you. To start off, this past week, Dr. Dauber, our principal, had a meeting with each of the grades, and he established, in an attempt to establish a more positive vibe in our school environment, where oftentimes academics can get very competitive between students, and his goal was to say success is not defined by how good the person next to you is doing, but how well you think you should do for yourself. On top of that, as South Student Council has been, North Student Council has been very busy doing homecoming decorations. Our theme for homecoming is international cities. So the junior class, we are Paris, so we've been painting pictures of the Louvre, we've been painting pictures of Eiffel Tower, the Bridge of Blocks that are all in Paris, all big monuments. As Haley said, the North-South game is this Friday, I believe, 16th. And a big implementation that administration has brought to our school is a study hall check-in system where students are required to either swipe their ID or tell attendants their last name so they can check into study hall. So teachers and staff can know the whereabouts of students when usually study hall classes were less regulated than other classes. And again, thank you for having me this year, and that's all.
Thank you. All right, that brings us to the first opportunity for public comments. The board invites thoughts and reactions on agenda items and items of concern from members of our community who are present. Each participant is asked to give his or her name and address prior to making a statement, and your statement will be limited to 3 minutes. All statements should be directed to the presiding officer, and public comment shall be limited in total to 60 minutes. Anybody?
Russell Melville, 6 Lake Court, Plainsboro, New Jersey. To the school board and parents of West Windsor-Plainsboro School District, my name is Russell Melville, father of a young lady who is attending the district. As a longtime resident of Plainsboro and a business executive, and as well as a decorated combat veteran and non-commissioned officer in the United States Army, as a candidate for this school board of education, I would like to take this opportunity to stand before you and offer a glimpse into my philosophy as a parent, a leader, and in the hopes that you will find my insight worth your consideration. Now, everyone in this room knows that our school district does an excellent job in educating our children. You won't live here if you don't think so. According to the U.S. News and World Report ranking of American high schools, the 2 we have are performing very well. High School North ranked number 22nd in New Jersey, 387th nationally. High School South, 27th, 421, and that's out of a total of 21,000 high schools in the nation. Our graduation rate and college readiness measures show a high degree of accomplishment as well. So yes, this district, our children are doing a great job, but there is always room for improvement. How do we make things even better for our children? How do we move the ranking of the West Windsor-Plainsboro School District from one of the best in the state and country to the best in the state and country? How can we work together as parents, teachers, administrators, and as board to achieve very achievable goals? There are definitely areas in which we can improve. Our college readiness ranking is high, but in this high-tech, globally connected world of 2016, we need to make sure all our children, not most of them, are well prepared for college. We need to make sure all our children find school a safe, intellectually stimulating environment, one they will reflect upon fondly throughout their lives. In that spirit, I'll just like to raise some questions, or bring some food for thought, if you will. What are our strategies, or strategic goal, if you will? How will we improve as a district? How do we measure or evaluate these outcomes? As the institution of no homework night being successful, do we even have measures to which we can determine this? We have spoken and debated much recently on the high level of stress many of our students experience. How do we make sure the stress our students experience do not affect them adversely? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Veronica Mina, 41 Galston Drive. I was analyzing the MAP testing, and I am extremely confused at how back in September, actually it was October, when I met with Mr. Adeholt, Mr. Gerald Dalton, and Mr. Smith, they were telling me how third graders, they were having really very violent reactions, like throwing up, even wetting their pants because they were being tested for the A&E program, and how it was very important to avoid those type of reactions. And now the school district is testing first graders and second graders with a MAP test. The MAP test, according to what I have been doing the research, is a test that is an adaptive test. What that means is that each student, they give a test, a question on the computer, and if the kid answers or the student answers the question correctly, then the question becomes more difficult and more difficult, and if the student answers the questions incorrectly, then the question becomes easier and easier. So I am extremely confused why first graders and second graders are being tested on a computer when there's a law that Chris Christie said that first graders, kindergarten, first graders and second graders should not be tested because standardized tested, which are commercialized, should not be tested on this type of students. This is an adaptive test. It's not a diagnostic test, because diagnostic test, there should be a group of professionals, and then at the end of the test, there should be some sort of diagnosis saying that the student has some sort of disability like dyslexia or, I don't know, an attention deficit disorder or some learning disability. The only thing that gives the teacher is, according to the website, is allows the teacher to give her an idea where the student is, and if that student is ready for the next level to learn the next objective. So basically, this is an adaptive test, which is called an assessment formative test, and the test is with corrective, it's given with rate scores, so it gives you an idea of how the student did. So I am dumbfounded that the school district is given this type of test to first graders and second graders. Thank you.
Thank you.
Peter Sirik, 23 Bradford Lane, Plainsboro. Welcome back. Good to see you guys. Hope you had a good summer. I want to thank you for the recording. I know I've been complaining about recording for a long time with other people, so I think it's a really good step for everybody. So I thank the board for providing that. I think it's a really good step. The only other comment I had is just and maybe I missed it, but I've been asking around. We had a survey technology survey from the school, and we haven't seen any results from it. Most of these survey programs, they allow you to give real-time results, so they don't need to be analyzed by anybody to make a report. You can just give a link to the public, and people can see how the results have gone. So I haven't seen any of those results, and I think it's important for the community to see what people thought of the technology. I guess they're asking about the Chromebooks and other programs that you have. So if anybody knows, I'd like to see what the results were this year. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Yunqing Li. I live in 5 Banff Drive, West Windsor. I have only one thing to ask to bring to your attention. I went to one-to-one initiative workshop for parents, which was held in High School North last Tuesday, September 6th, in the evening, and listened to that's mainly a parent orientation on Chromebooks. And during that session, Mr. Martin Smith gave a speech, and he gave a variety of reasons why it is a good time to issue Chromebook at 5th grade. And even though I personally do not agree of giving Chromebook to children of that age, I have no, I think what the evidence he provide, I have no objection to them. But also at that time, he mentioned that all teachers at WWP schools like Chromebooks, and many of them have advocated of issuing Chromebooks to children as early as 2nd grade. And I really have some concern over these two statements. First, claiming that all teachers in our school district like Chromebook, that's a bold statement. I really want to see some evidence to support that statement. And then second, I think it would be a terrible idea to give children as young as 2nd grade Chromebooks. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, we'll close the public comment period. Now we come to committee reports. Curriculum Committee?
Okay, the Curriculum Committee met on Wednesday, through the months here, Wednesday, August 31st. We reviewed the internal committee's report for the Fine and Performing Arts Program review. Many of the recommendations are related to staffing and budgetary concerns. The district anticipates that we will receive the external report in September. Once received, the Curriculum Committee will review and a formal public presentation of both reports will be scheduled. We next reviewed the 2015-16 New Jersey SMART evaluation data, and review of the data submitted to the state for the 2015-16 school year on the teacher evaluation system showed that for teachers who received a summative rating, 0% were ineffective, 0 were rated partially effective, and 6% were rated effective, and 94% were rated highly effective. Our numbers last year were 12% effective and 88% highly effective. Last year in the state, 97% of teachers were rated effective or highly effective. On tonight's agenda, we have a number of new and revised curricula. In committee, we reviewed these, and all have been posted for the public to review. These curricula were written or revised over the summer. Curricula on K-5 word study, AP psychology, AP computer science principles, architecture design, and the marketing course were developed. 6th through 12th grade science course curricula were revised to align with the next generation science standards as per New Jersey Department of Education requirements. Language Arts 4, Geometry, Principles of Engineering, STEM, and Financial Literacy were courses that were revised this summer after their initial year. The committee recommends approval of all curriculum documents. The committee reviewed the teacher and supervisor recommendation for the adoption of the textbook Marketing and Introduction by Armstrong and Kotler for the new marketing course. The cost of this purchase is approximately $185.30 per textbook, which is about almost $16,000 in total. The curriculum committee recommends approval of the textbook. The committee will next meet on October 10th. Thanks.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, Finance.
Okay, the Finance Committee met on August 30th. The committee reviewed the agenda items and supports the actions on the agenda. Mr. Locastro told the committee that good progress is being made with the annual audit. It appears that the surplus figure for the 2015-16 year will be about $8.5 million, which is lower than previous years. Still, this will provide support for tax relief in the 17-18 budget. Our capital reserve is at a healthy level of $22.5 million. The committee received an update on summer construction. Most projects were substantially completed as of the end of August. 2 projects were behind: the Town Center Playground and High School North Robotics Room. Projects substantially completed are pavement work at Grover Village South and Millstone River, roof work at North and Hawk, HVAC work at Grover, Dutch Neck, and Town Center, and a new track surface at North. A number of rooms across the district got new flooring, and a number of rooms and hallways were painted. The administration reviewed supervisory staffing levels over the last 10 years, and there has been little overall growth. There was a period when, in coping with the loss of $8 million in state aid, in 2010-11 that the district reduced subject supervisors. Over time, we've been able to restore some of those cuts. Over the 10-year period, there are a net 3 additional supervisors: fine and performing arts, special services, and data assessment and accountability. Excuse me a second. The solar panels at the high schools are nearing their break-even point. With 9 more years of SREC sales and about 19 more years of capability of generating electricity, this has been a good project for the district. If any board members have suggestions for changes in priorities for the upcoming budget, please send them to me. The committee also discussed capital project funding levels and capital reserve levels in comparison to anticipated capital needs, and this is something the board will need to address in setting the budget for the next school year. Our transportation facility is located on West Windsor Township property. It looks like we will need to relocate by June of next year. There are many issues and potential costs associated with that, and so there's a lot we have to work on. We also discussed the niche rankings that Tony already mentioned. That's it.
Thank you. Any board member questions? Okay, and we come to administration. Can I have a motion on items 1 and 2? Rachel and Isaac. Any questions or comments?
Mr. Chang?
Yes.
Ms. Ho?
Yes.
Ms. Juliana?
Yes.
Ms. Krug?
Yes.
Mr. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. YZ Jean?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor Jean?
Yes.
Ms. Cage?
Yes.
Mr. Flares?
Yes.
9-0.
Okay, curriculum, can I have a motion on items 1 to 6? YZ and Dana. Any questions or discussion on the curriculum items?
Ms. Ho?
Yes.
Ms. Juliana?
Yes.
Ms. Krug?
Yes.
Mr. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. YZ Jean?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor Jean?
Yes.
Mr. Chang?
Yes.
Ms. Cage?
Yes.
Mr. Flares?
Yes.
9-0.
Okay, finance, I'll ask for a motion on items 1 to 12, and just one correction on item 12C. The last line there where it says, at a cost, no cost to the district, it should be at no additional cost to the district. I can have a motion.
Also, the addendum.
Which one? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yellow, you can get one, whatever. We're talking about the
Tan.
yellow.
Finance?
No, the white is personnel one, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so plus the yellow addendum. And for a motion, Scott and Taylor. Any questions on the finance?
Ms. Juliana?
Yes.
Ms. Krug?
Yes.
Mr. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. YZ Jean?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor Jean?
Yes.
Mr. Chang?
Yes.
Ms. Ho?
Yes.
Ms. Cage?
Yes.
Mr. Flares?
Yes.
9-0.
Okay, now the annual Dance on the School Boards Conference. Could I have a motion on item 13? Isaac and Rachel. Any questions?
Ms. Krug?
Abstain.
Mr. Scott? Mr. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. YZ Jean?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor Jean?
Yes.
Mr. Chang?
Yes.
Ms. Ho?
Abstain.
Ms. Juliana?
Yes.
Ms. Cage?
Abstain.
Mr. Flares?
Yes.
6 yeses, 3 abstentions.
Okay, now I have a motion on item 14, Rachel and Isaac. Any questions?
Mr. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. YZ Jean?
Abstain.
Mr. Taylor Jean?
Yes.
Mr. Chang?
Yes.
Ms. Ho?
Yes.
Ms. Juliana?
Yes.
Ms. Krug?
Yes.
Ms. Case?
Yes.
Mr. Flares?
Yes.
8 yes, 1 abstention.
Okay, and now item 15, Michelle and Scott. Any questions?
Mr. YZ Jean?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor Jean?
Abstain.
Mr. Chang?
Yes.
Ms. Ho?
Yes.
Ms. Juliana?
Yes.
Ms. Krug?
Yes.
Mr. Powell?
Yes.
Ms. Case?
Yes.
Mr. Flares?
Yes.
8 yes, 1 abstention.
Just for someone who is wondering what's going on, we have to vote to allow members to go to the school board's convention, but by the ethics rules, we can't vote for ourselves. So we have to do this in steps so that people are abstaining against when it's their turn. So that's why we had to do it in 3 different steps. It got really complicated one year when I think there were some people missing, so we still needed 4 yes votes, but
We got
had the
there
case there were only
eventually.
like 6 people voting. All right, now that brings us to personnel. Can I have a motion on items 1 and 2, plus the white addendum and the pink addendum? Taylor and YZ. Any questions on the personnel, any corrections?
Mr. Chang?
Yes.
Ms. Ho?
I'm sorry. Was that me? Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Juliana?
Yes.
Ms. Krug?
Yes.
Mr. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. YZ Jean?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor Jean?
Yes.
Ms. Case?
Yes.
Mr. Flares?
Yes.
9-0.
Okay, and I do want to announce a retirement. Roberta Stein, an instructional assistant at Community Middle School, is retiring after 26 years with the district. Want to wish her well in the future and thank her for her time with the district. Okay, we're up to approval of the minutes. Can I have a motion on that? Rachel and Scott. Any questions? Those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
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 Opposed? Any liaison reports? Any new business? Okay, that brings us to the second opportunity for public comment. 15 minutes will be provided at the end of the meeting for public comment. All statements should be directed to the presiding officer, and please give your name and address if you come up to speak. Going once. Ah.
Veronica Mina, 41 Galston Drive. Regarding the workshop that apparently there's going to be there's going to be 2 central officers, and that they're going to be going to Atlantic Lake City at a cost of not to exceed $500 in pocket money, and 4 central officers, office administrators, not to exceed $650 pocket money. Between these 6 central office administrators, that basically is costing us $12,000 to us, and with the members of the board is costing us, give and take, another $9,400. So basically the trip is costing us, the residents, $21,400. So I did some investigation, and apparently the good news is that the New Jersey Department of Education does reimburse us for lodging and mileage when the members of the board, or the office administrators stay more than 50 miles away from the place. So here is the letter that I found in the website, and today I spoke with the person that he absolutely stated that yes, WWP has been being reimbursed in lodging and mileage. So today I submitted an opera request because obviously if we are sending, paying out of our budget and we are being reimbursed, I mean, the logical thing is that, that money comes back to our budget, don't you think? So I would like to know, and I submitted, as I said, the opera request, making sure that for 2015, everything that went out from our budget and we got reimbursed came back, and now for 2016, the members of the BOE and those office administrators, if we get reimbursed, the money has to come back because that money belongs to the students. Thank you.
Thank you.
Carol Hertz, West Windsor. The board just voted unanimously to change almost every course in the school district. I'm wondering if every member of the board knows what those curriculum changes are and could explain them to parents. I'm wondering if a single parent or member of the public in the district has any idea what any of these changes are. If you call this transparency, then you need to look up the definition of that word.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, my information.
You should say it again.
Yeah. All right. Peter Sirik, 23 Bradford Lane. Yeah, what the lady just said, I do see all these changes, and I expected that there would be some conversation on it. So I think the parents should know what's going on. Not saying we don't trust you, but it would be nice to know what the changes are. Everyone voted unanimously, so they must be good, I assume. But it'd really be nice if we had some presentation, something put on the website, raise technology a little bit, send it out to the parents, get an idea. At least hear people's comments. If there was a presentation that could have went out to parents, just with sort of an overview, at least people could have come here tonight and maybe gave their opinion. So I think that's fair. So I'd like to see more transparency in the future.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn? Dana and Scott. Those in favor of adjourning say aye.
Aye.
No opposed? Okay, thank you for coming out tonight.